are going to work 10 times harder to get what you want, because that is what you said that you want and not what somebody else has defined for you. Hey spinners, and welcome back to our channel. Today's video is a very practical video. It's about how to stop letting life happen to you. Yes, honey, you. Let's get into the entire video. Yay! Okay. I won't lie, I know that life can have like some crazy unplanned moments for you, but on this channel life doesn't happen to us. We embrace life and we learn our lessons and move on. Say it with me, life doesn't happen to me, I happen to life. Yes, honey, that's it. That's the entire thing. I always believe that first of all, we have to work with our mindset. Then all the things that we are seeing in our mind will start becoming our reality. Like, this is something that you can literally put a gun to my head and I will tell you that that's what I believe in and nothing else. Like, you actually do have to be delusional and believe that all the good things are for you. Yes. So first of all, as you can see, we're back in our old space. Yeah. Some notes I would love to share with you, and I'm very sure that you would love them. So the first one would be, need to realize that the most important thing is not where you were or where you are, but where you want to get to. That's what we're saying. Your past doesn't matter. Your present, it doesn't even matter that much. But what matters is your future and the plan that you have to get to that future. What are the action steps that you've already put in writing? Yes, you actually do have to put things in writing for you to actually even get the clarity that you need. And I don't even think that you need to tell a lot of people, apart from maybe your financial planner or a mentor or someone that's actually helping you get to where you want to get from step A to step B. You don't just go around and spread things that you want to do in your life, because yes, I do believe in when you tell people, you can get so confused because they will tell you, are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you can do that? I think it's too much, and they start even giving you like so much limiting beliefs that you've not put on yourself before. So I always say, first of all, you have to actually believe in yourself, write down steps, get people that believe in you, not just anybody on the road. People that actually are going to help you move from step A to step B, okay? You need to start uplifting yourself. Stop looking down on yourself with the view that you have in your head. There's this thing, I went for her summit on Saturday, and Yolanda, she spoke about, she always has a photo shoot every year because she wants to have a picture of herself in her head. And this was so powerful because it looks like something that is just so fickle. Why would you just do a photo shoot to have an image of yourself in your head? But it's so important that when you look yourself in the mirror, the person that you're seeing there, it's someone that empowers you and not someone you're like, oh my god, what's she gonna do today? No. And that's why when we take pictures, we're always looking at the pictures and say, oh my god, I look so pretty here. Yes, it's always good, it's always important for you to take those pictures. Stop. Even if you're the kind of person that you're like, oh, I don't really like taking pictures, what image of yourself do you have in your head? Who is that girl? Who is that lady? And that's why you need to start embracing yourself. Because if you do not, okay, if you have like an open teeth, like, yeah, the gap tooth in between, that's so pretty, but there's some people that do not love that about themselves. You actually need to be very deliberate about the people that you let into your life, because if then you have a friend that's like, oh my god, this your gap tooth is so ugly, that will also impede on your already low self-esteem. That's why you need to have people that are always uplifting you and telling you, oh my god, I love your gap tooth, and not people that are like, oh my god, I wish you could just close it. No, you need to be very intentional. Be very intentional about people that you let into your space. Yes, and actually there was a study done in a work environment that had to evaluate men and women based on confidence, yes, and competence, and it showed that men, yes, would not even have half of the skills of a job and would apply because they had higher confidence. But women, they needed to cross all their T's, dot all their I's. That means they needed their competence to be more than their confidence. And this actually affected the way that women and men apply to that job, because men will come just with confidence and half of the competence, but women will come only when they think in their own head that they're competent enough, and their confidence level will then go up. And there's also something I learned at her summit. It says that if you have all the like, if your competence is 100, then that means that that job is not for you, because you always need room to grow in the new role that you're going towards. And I think that's so smart. We need to know that this is very common, and it takes so much grace to overcome it. But I'm going to share things that I am using to also overcome this in my own life. Because remember, I actually filmed a video about this competence, confidence thing previously. You can watch that. It's above my head, somewhere in the screen right now. But some things that have helped are the Bible. I use the Bible for so long, and after reading the verse of the day, they actually have like this thing where it's like a homily, because I'm Catholic, so they are kind of explaining the gospel and giving you action steps that you need in your life, and explaining how it relates to us. And it always speaks to me, and the Bible would be like the number one thing that I would recommend on here. Then listen to empowering podcasts. Stop with all the talk about when they are putting down someone, Instagram gossip, all this shebang. Start listening to podcasts that actually elevate you and help you to move from point A to point B. I listen to Resilient Mind. You would love this podcast, because it's just like a gallery of so much motivational speakers, and they're just going on and on and on, and I love it. And also Founders Podcast. I need to say more? It's so beautiful. Also, something else that I've started listening to is 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪𝓵's podcast. It's about shifting roles. So if you're having like a career shift from maybe being someone to someone else, you need to listen to 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓲's podcast, because she is the queen of changing careers. I love her podcast. Also, something else that I do is books. You know that I talk about books on here. We talk about books such as The Magic of Thinking Big, Sincero's, we talk about so many books on here, and made an entire video on them. So you do not even need to read them. They will all be linked in the description box. So you're welcome. Yes, you need to try out writing down things when you're actually feeling low. So instead of like crying in a space, which is actually really good, but you can be crying as you're writing, yes, and that is called journaling. Journaling is the act of writing down things, okay? It's as you're feeling, you're writing it down. And some people do it with prompts, some people do it off the top of their head. I think both works for any type of person that you are, but actually writing down things will give you the clarity that you never thought that you had. Like, I've tried this so many times, and anytime I journal, I'm just shocked. I'm just like, is that really how I felt? Is that, like, it just makes it so much clearer. And I think that everybody needs to try this out. Like, you need to try it. The magic of journaling things down is like untapped. Yes, you need to start believing that you're a powerhouse. Your talents, your skills, your abilities are products. You are a brand. You watching this video right now, you an entire brand, and you need to start carrying yourself like that. When people ask you what do you have to offer, you have a lot to offer. Anything that you've learned can be sold. Yes. Another powerful thing I learned at Half Summit. I think Half Summit is a staple program that everybody needs to attend yearly, because this was my first one, and I felt so empowered to do all the things that I had already written out to do. Another interesting note, as I said, today's topic is what? Can I hear my class? Spinners? Yes, you know the vibe. Life doesn't happen to us, we embrace it. Share desire to get ahead. You just need to feel the burning desire. That is Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You need to have the burning desire to actually get what you want. If not, you're just like, maybe or maybe no, I might get it or might not get it. That doesn't even say that you really want something. If you do not want it, you are not going to get it. It's either you do or you don't. There's nothing like in the middle. Try. It's just, do you want to get it or you don't want to get it? Period. You don't care to know how good it can get. you probably will never find out, because success doesn't just come to you. You have to be climbing your own defined ladder. Keyword defined. You knew that that's what you want to have, and not just because of other people told you that that's what you need to have. So you have already defined your ladder. You're climbing it at your own pace, probably not your own pace, because you want your sweet things before you die. While you're doing this, that is when success comes to you. You have to believe that you're intelligent and you're hardworking, and that you are going to get what you deserve. Okay? You genuinely need to believe in yourself, because nobody would, like, trust me, nobody would believe that you would get it until you actually show them that you have it. And that's just how the world works. You won't see yourself lazying around if you know what your purpose is, because you've already defined what you want to do. You won't be lazy to do the work. You might need to just pass through that mental hurdle first of all, because like when I want to work out in the morning, yeah, I will always be like, oh my god, it's time to work out. Like the pain is there. But what I always do is like, let's just do the 5 minutes warm up, and let's see if we're going to stop or not. And not half of the time, all the time, I never stop after the warm up, except I'm running out. But like, when you actually have already defined, I always work out. I'm somebody that works out. I work out because I want to live a longer life, and not just temporary. Because also there is this thing like about having temporary goals and long-term goals. When I have a defined long-term goal, it kind of makes me feel like I am that person. So I cannot do without working out. I can't do without it, because that's who I have become. It's just like eating food. So when you already have your own defined ladder, it's easier for you to climb it, because you already know what you desire, and you are going to work 10 times harder to get what you want, because that is what you said that you want, and not what somebody else has defined for you. The third thing would be to have goals. I hear my friend call this targets, but it's the same thing. Having goals of where you see yourself in 1 week, yes. You see yourself in 2 weeks, see yourself in 1 month. Remember the 12-week calendar. It's just like having this 3 month cycle. What are we going to achieve in 3 months? It's literally 3 months to the end of the year. What is that thing I'm going to achieve in these 3 months that will leave me feeling fulfilled and happy to enter the new year, to become a more improved version of myself? Because time doesn't come back. Time literally has a value on it, and it's your most prized possession, because it can never come back. It can never come back. Money can come back, but time, you can never buy more of your time. You can buy other people's time, yes, but your own time, if 1 minute of my time has gone, it can never come back. And I can't even buy it no matter how much I have. So you need to start believing that time is so precious, and that no one can give it back to you. And that is when you start setting goals that align with your own vision in life. Say, what are targets? Targets are daily guides that will lead you to the realization of your dream life. So you already have your defined goal in your mind, what you want to become. You need to now actually break it down. Okay, who is she? Does she work? How does she dress? What kind of events does she go to? And you actually now start planning your life according to the person that you've already said you want to become. You need to always have to do and to be list. I always have them. Your to do list, what you're going to do, your to be list. So what you want to actually become, who you actually want to be in your own life, because this will actually guide you. If not, you're going to see yourself lazing around during the day, because you do not have anything, or you don't have anything planned. But when you have all this list, it actually makes you so excited, that because when you complete your list, your day will be deemed productive, and you will feel successful, because all these things are actually, as I said before, they are action steps that actually make you more confident. So when you're feeling more confident, it makes you to chase more things in your day-to-day life, and you see yourself growing and becoming a different version of yourself, and you're like, oh my god, I am so different from who I used to be. And that is what we want. That is who you are. You are not the version of yourself that is lazing around always with no plan on how she wants her day to go. That's not who you are, darling. So let's start planning. Get out your pen and paper and let's plan for your day. What are you going to do after this video? Are you going to watch just another video? Are you sure about that? Or do you want to read a book? Or do you want to start planning out what you want to do next week? Or even just tomorrow? Let us start from there. You actually need to know that this video is not just a video that is random. It is something that will help you right now. These are things you need to start implementing in your life now. Like, get a pen and a paper. What do you want to do today? There is still time for you to do, even if it's just one task that will lay the building blocks for who you want to become. Don't take this advice for jokes. It's none of that. It's something that I want you to do right now. Okay? The fourth note would be bless me. The fourth note would be expressing gratitude. I have this notes called energizers, and this is a place where I kind of write the things that made me smile during the day. They brought a smile to my face. They made me feel grateful for who I have become or the people I have in my life. And it's just so important because sometimes you don't express gratitude to yourself for all the work that you're already putting in to become who you want to be. That even when you become that person, you don't know that you've already become her, because you're not always reaching in within and saying, I appreciate all the work that you're putting in into becoming her. And I love that you're doing that right now. It's like giving yourself a hug when no one gives you a hug. Thank you so much. Gratitude always makes me feel so happy, because it's like, thank you for doing this even when no one told you to do it. Like, that's huge. When we were growing up, our parents always told us, go and brush your teeth, go and have your bath, it's time to sleep, I'm going to switch off the lights now, everybody go to bed. But now, you taking care of yourself, it's so powerful. Making sure that your skincare is on, making sure that you're having your breakfast, making sure that you're sleeping early, making sure that, do you understand? You're doing all this for yourself and without being told. Like, that's so huge. I'm also putting out the work in your day-to-day job. Either if you work a job or if you have a business, actually putting action steps behind what you're doing, what you're building. That's so powerful. And we need to give ourselves a hug most times or most days for the work that we're putting into becoming who we want to become. So I indulge you to create your energizers list or have a gratitude journal. A lot of people have that these days, where they write things that they are grateful for. You can be grateful for anything. You can be grateful for the weather. You can be grateful for your friend. You can be grateful for your pen. You can be grateful for the air inside you that God has given to you. There's so much to be grateful for. So yes, express gratitude today and watch your inner self glow. Yes. And one thing I do is that I usually go through my energizers list, because these are things that made me feel enthusiastic during the day and they didn't drain me. And when I start looking at this list, I'm like, oh, we need to practice more of this in our life, because these are energy bringers and not energy drainers. So I try to practice more of that, and you just truly glow from inside when you're so grateful for the things that you have in your life. Yes, it's just like this magic pill that nobody tells you about. But I'm telling you, now you know. Know thyself. When you know thyself, which is you, in case you're confused, you look forward to life this way, because you know who you are. You know your style, and even if you don't, you learn it. You learn the way you eat, you learn the way you observe, you learn the way you listen, you learn the way you dress, you learn the way you sleep. When you learn all these things, it makes life easier, because you're not then trying to become someone else, because you know who you are. You don't need to act like someone else, because you already know yourself and you're like, that's not me, and I can't do what you're doing because that's not me, and being me is powerful. But that doesn't apply to negative things. So even though you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses, it's always beautiful that when you know your strengths and weaknesses, especially in a work environment, I would always say gravitate towards your strengths and build on your strengths. Yes, because if you start learning your weaknesses and start trying to make your weaknesses your strengths, that's a lot of time that would have been spent making your strengths more powerful. And I just believe that you would gain more strengthening your strengths and becoming the 1% in your strengths than trying to work on your weaknesses and just become an average in your weaknesses. That is the concept of thinking about how precious time is and not wasting it. Okay? And you need to also know your mindset. If you're the kind of person that you always have this negative mindset, you always want to talk about other people, you don't want to see the good in other people, you might need to work on that. No, you might. You need to work on that, because what you think about is what you attract into your life. And you need to know that that's so powerful. It's in the Bible. What you are is who you're going to attract. So when you think that, oh, being negative and trying to talk bad about other people is nice, guess what? That's what you're going to attract into your life. You're going to attract people that do the same thing. So you need to know, I need to work on that and try to stop that, because that's wrong. First of all, like, why are you doing that? You need to know that when you're having those kind of feelings, it's because you have not deemed yourself worthy enough. You don't feel like you are whole. Because if you're whole, you wouldn't need to be trying to deem other people's reputation bad, because you're already so confident in who you are and what you have to offer. Okay, let's get to the other one, which is listen to your voice. That's called your intuition. I have so many stories of how my intuition has helped me in crazy ways that I don't even know if mine is normal. So when I was in secondary school, one day I was in class and they just took the light, and I was in class and a voice just came into my head and was like, would you run to your locker? Would you go there now? And I was like, what? I was in class. Why would I start going back to the hostel to go and check my locker? Why? I was just like, wait, let me just wait till prep is over, because that's crazy. Like, I won't start going back to my locker now. So the voice came back again, and it was really, really sharp. And it was like, would you run to your locker now? And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. And I ran to my locker. Guess what? Guess what? If I had listened, I would have had time. But I didn't. I got there and I saw that my locker was open and my things were stolen. If I had listened to that voice at first, immediately, instantly, without having second thoughts, I would have been able to get those things under like my possession. But because I didn't listen to that voice, it led me to have my things stolen. And I would always say listening to your voice is so powerful. Like anytime I have double thoughts about something, like because there are different case scenarios. So like that's me. Anytime I think about things and I have to think about it 2 times and I'm like, no, that's not it. Like I shouldn't have to double think things. Like if it's it, is it. If it's not, then it's not. Except based on actual data, that is it. Yeah, then we can now move towards it. But sometimes you need to listen to your intuition, because your intuition is kind of like, I feel like it's God's like power that each of us have ingrained inside of us, and we need to listen to them. Our inner voice is so notorious for speaking louder than our actual voices, because when you're having like job unsatisfaction, your inner voice will be literally be screaming at you, what are you doing? I want to do more. And if you don't listen because of job security, which is a lie, because nothing and no one, no organization, no company can assure you job security in this life. Maybe back in the days they used to provide them with like all these good plans, but right now it's actually quite rare for you to see a company that will tell you that, oh, we're going to give you job satisfaction and we're going to give you job security. You're going to feel secure in your job and we're going to always make you grow and everything. Even if they promise you all that and they promise you all the roses in the world, if that's not what you want to be doing with your life, you are still going to be so unsatisfied, and nothing they give you is going to give you what following the path that has been put into your mind by God would give you. They make you believe that job security is real because they want you to believe that they care for you. Meanwhile, if anything happened to you because you are not supposed to take your leave because somebody else went on leave and they can't give you your leave, and then you fall ill and something happens to you, best believe someone is going to be on your seat before noon, because companies don't care about you. They always care about their numbers going up. Okay? Nobody's going to bring you back to life, but because you couldn't take your leave because someone else had to take their leave at that exact time and they're understaffed and they can't have you go. Have you ever thought about that? That no one is going to care that you are not doing well mentally or even physically. Okay? Think about that today. And now decide, do I really want to let my soul be unsatisfied, or start looking for an action plan to leave this job towards something that brings satisfaction rather? Having the next mile attitude. Often big dreams can seem so big, unachievable, and they're just going to seem unrealistic. But if you break them down into small action steps that actually become your daily life, trust me, you're going to be there before you even know it. And that's why you always need to ask yourself, where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I used to see this question every single place in every book I read, including The Magic of Thinking Big, which I recently talked about in the video is on the screen right now. You can check it out. But what I realized is that when my friend asked me, where do you actually see yourself in 10 years? That brought so much clarity. I do not know why. Maybe you should have your friend ask you this question. Just have your friend ask you casually, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I feel like when you're reading a book, sometimes it just feels like it's just the author saying it. But when it was someone close to me that asked me that question, it just made me really think. And I really had like this eureka moment that made me actually start journaling, start writing, start thinking, start visualizing, start writing out things, and start actually building plans. Because sometimes you just feel like, oh, that we still have time, I'm still young. But trust me, the old people that you're seeing now that are not satisfied in their life were young people too, and they didn't do the right thing, and now they are not happy. So that is why we need to become different. We need to do better. We need to actually do better. We need to put in the work and not just keep on saying we are going to do things and not just doing them. So you need to start breaking that big plan into small goals that you're able to do now. Also, one thing I discovered is that when you're like, oh, you're 10, you're 20, and you say, oh my God, I would love to own like an estate. If you don't start by owning a house, or even trying to ask how much a house is, how do you see yourself owning an estate when you're 30? By magic? It's not possible. I wish Harry Potter's world was the real world, but no, it's not. And you need to actually start building baby steps. I'm currently reading The Guide to Investing by Robert Kiyosaki, and what I've been doing is after each chapter, I actually do what he said he did in the chapter. It's crazy because usually when I'm reading a book, I just read it and I have action steps that I'm going to share on my YouTube channel. But I decided I'm going to start doing different things. It's not like all the time I read books, I actually do different things. But now I've been seeing myself doing different things at a quicker pace, and I love it. And I can't tell you how fulfilled it makes me feel. I can't even express it in words. You need to know that you miss 100% of the chances that you do not take. I've never seen this before. I have never seen it before until my friend posted a picture with that caption, and I was like, wow, that is so powerful. Because sometimes you already tell yourself no before someone tells you no. And I just decided I'm not just going to tell myself no anymore until I actually do hear no from someone I'm asking for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. Even the biggest people, the president, they ask for help from advisors. So why not you? Why shouldn't you have a mentor that you seek out often to ask for guidance in how your life is planning out? Why don't you tweak your plans when your mentors tell you this is what they did and this is what did not work for them? Why do you not set deadlines for yourself to achieve the goals in your head? Even though I know, yes, life cannot be always linear, but you actually do have to set deadlines for so you're able to even hit your goals at all. Because if you just say you want to own an estate, going back to my example, but you do not set your deadline, you're just always going to keep on telling yourself, I want to have an estate, till you actually grow old and bye bye. So you need to have deadlines in your head. This makes your life look like you're going somewhere, because you are going somewhere. That's the entire essence of having a plan, isn't it? So yes, spinners, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you actually do have a lot of things to do after watching this video, because I made sure that you have so much to write down, journal, think through, and that would mean a lot to me if this video gave you some form of clarity. Yes, I'm honored to come here and share my thoughts with you, and I will see you on my next video. Remember to subscribe so that we can grow together and also grow together, my darling. I will see you on my next one. Spinner. Adios. What are you going to be doing in your life? What